Medellin, I mean, I'm kind of getting tired of the city. It's definitely changing a lot. I don't know if it's changing for the best. 11 and a half years ago, Laureles was a very different place.
What's up, everybody? Andrew here with the Medellin Buzz, and today we are interviewing my friend Zolti. How you doing?
Hey guys, I'm good, doing good.
He's the owner of Café Revolucion, a very famous cafe in Laureles. We're gonna talk to him all about his life in Medellin, business in Medellin. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
All right.
Let's go. All right, so Zolti's gonna make us an espresso. Even though he's the owner, he still gets back there and works. Oh yeah, espresso. What are you making for yourself? Oh, you add a little milk?
I'm making a cortado.
A cortado?
That's my drink, yeah.
Salud. All right, we've got our espressos here. Let's give this a taste.
Yep.
Oh man, that is really good. Where do you get this coffee from?
We're gonna get it from Tolima, and it gets roasted in Bogotá. And this is the coffee that we're using for 11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
So that brings me to my first question. Where are you from and how long have you been in Medellin?
So I'm from Hungary. I've been living here for 11 years, but I've been coming here for 17.
Why did you choose Medellin?
Before I moved to Medellin, I've been living in South America for many, many years, since I was 19. And I wanted to open my own business. I just didn't know where. And I came to Medellin because I had friends here, Colombian friends, and they invited me here from Argentina, where I was living at that time. And so I came here, and I think I just saw the opportunity. You know, Medellin was very different 11 years ago, 12 years ago. Yeah, so I just thought about it would be a good place to open up a cafe.
Starting the business, what are the challenges for someone that wants to start a service industry business?
So before this, I had 10 years of experience of managing restaurant, working in the kitchen, working as a waiter, and learn like all around the business. It's not easy to open up a business in Colombia. One of the staff stole from us.
Well, like money and...
Money, yeah. And I think I just let my guard down. After many, many years, I thought it's normal, you know, just to like step back a little bit. But I guess, I don't know, I guess here it's not that normal. I guess I always have to be on it.
So how do you manage that? How do you manage your time?
I always have a supervisor, but then I'm also here, I'm doing shifts. So when I'm in Medellin, I'm here, I mean, at least like I'm doing shifts 5 days a week, at least.
A big question that people usually ask is like, oh, is Medellin safe? You know, have you had any incidences where people come in here and rob or anything like that?
Well, I think Medellin is safe, yes. We had one incident, that was before the pandemic, that was like 6 years ago. It was like an in and out. It happened maybe 30 seconds. I wasn't here. One of the customers got robbed, and that was the only thing 11 years. So I don't think that's actually a bad thing.
Yeah, one time in 11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good ratio, I guess.
Yeah.
When you have a restaurant, especially if you're new, location is everything. Tell us about this location.
We are in the first park of Laureles, el primer parque de Laureles. 11 and a half years ago, Laureles was a very different place. Most of the high-rises were not here. None of the restaurants were here except Salud Pan. I think that was the only one that's still here. Honestly, we didn't know that this area gonna pick up as much as it did. It surprised me a lot, especially after the pandemic when it really started picking up. And I'm really grateful that it happened, but 11 years ago, that was a very different place, very quiet.
We see people start businesses, whether they're foreigners or locals, all the time, especially in the service industry, and then they go out of business shortly, you know, within the next two years, and they're out. What do you think you owe your success to?
I think it's consistency. Like people are not consistent. They give up too easily, or they jump into a business that they not necessarily know a lot of things about, and they kind of like, they just fancy the idea of like, oh, it's so cool to have my own restaurant, my own pub, my own bar. But then they realize how much work it is, and you know, it takes up all your time. Yeah. And if you don't really have a passion for it, then just don't do it.
What do you like the most about owning this place?
When people come up to me and they say, oh, this is the best pancake I had in Colombia, this is the best espresso I had in Colombia, the best coffee I had in Colombia, and you know, I've been traveling for like a year, and this breakfast is amazing, and this is what it makes me going, and this is the reward that I'm getting, and this is what is satisfying me, and that's what I love about this whole thing.
How do you handle the employment? Are they contracted? Are they independent contractors?
So we employ everybody through the cafe. Everybody works for the cafe as a company. To be honest, it's very hard to find people these days. I think it used to be a lot easier. And now, not really much Colombians applying for jobs lately. The hojas de vida that I'm getting are from Venezuelans. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's interesting to see like how is it shifting, no? And before I used to get maybe like, 15 people applying for a job in a week, just dropping a CV in or, sending a message on Instagram. And these days it's nothing. It's maybe once a month. People that work for me now, like most of them work for me now for over 3 years. So I think that's pretty good for Medellin. Or in general, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of new workers that been here for a couple of months, but I think we have 8 people now, yeah. So yeah, we're growing.
Do you live in Laureles?
I don't live in Laureles anymore. I lived in Laureles for 9 years, but to be honest, it became very expensive for me. I live in Belén now, Loma de los Bernales. I get more for my money than I would get in Laureles. When I lived in Laureles, I was riding my bicycle every day. And I loved it. Everything was just so close.
Right.
And now it takes me like 20 minutes to get here, so.
Okay.
But it's okay.
Let's talk about the cost of living. You just said that it's more expensive in Laureles. Like housing, or what is more expensive for you?
I think housing for sure. Even the rent, rent for the business, or rent for the apartment, everything got maybe doubled or even more than a few years ago. And just food, everything is more expensive than before.
As far as your quality of life, how would you rate your quality of life in Colombia?
I mean, I live very comfortably in Colombia. I can't complain. I live the way I want to live, yeah.
What about some of the cons of living in Medellin, in the city?
I came here for nature. Like that was my big thing. And Medellin, I'm kind of getting tired of the city, to be honest. And so it's definitely changing a lot. I don't know if it's changing for the best. It's definitely good for the business, and people who want to open businesses. I don't know if for my personal life, it's good. And I also started shifting away from Medellin a few years ago. I bought a big piece of land in Casanare. Casanare is in Los Llanos Orientales. So it's in the Orinoco River. So I bought a big piece of land and I turned it into a natural reserve. So we're working with other foundations in the area. It's all about wildlife conservation. We're working with endangered species, crocodiles and pumas and ocelots and otters and capybaras. And so that's my passion now. And I think it's shifting away from the cafe a little bit.
What are the pros of living in Colombia or in Medellin?
Everything is accessible now. Like I remember before, it's a big thing just to get basic international food, and now you can kind of get almost everything. That you can get all the. I like cooking, so that's what I'm talking about, cooking, because you can get all the ingredients these days. While a few years back, you couldn't get almost anything, but it was so expensive, and now everything is affordable.
If you could give someone advice, for example, someone that's watching this video out, in the United States, in Hungary, in any country outside of Colombia that wants to come out here and make a life in Colombia and Medellin, what would be your advice to them?
I mean, come check it out. Don't get scared. It's a beautiful place, beautiful people, beautiful nature, beautiful country, and Medellin is still a cool place. So if you want something chill that you can live, get a routine, maybe open up a business or just work here as a digital nomad, then Medellin is definitely the place for it.
So I noticed that you have a bandage on your knee. I know you ride a motorcycle. What happened?
Man, I crashed my bike a month ago. I had an accident, which is my first accident I had, so it's not that bad in I don't know, 3 years old. I think it was both of our fault, to be honest. I was working. I was actually taking a delivery, which I never do, but this time I did, and I was rushing. So I think, don't rush when you're riding a bike. Yeah, don't do it.
Especially in Medellin. On your personal life, on the street or whatever, have you ever been robbed or?
I never been robbed. No way. No. My house got robbed once.
Really? Like they broke in?
They broke in, but that was 10 years ago. That was a long time ago. Nobody was home. It was in the afternoon. There was no portero. There's nothing you can do about it. Right. And it happened once, and then never happened anything else.
How did you meet your girlfriend?
I met her in the cafe.
Oh, that's a perfect place to meet people. Obviously, having a business here.
I mean, the cafe is the perfect place to meet people, yeah. And I see this every day because customers, they get connected. Sometimes they start businesses together. Sometimes they become friends, or sometimes they go out. So it's definitely, I think the cafe is known to be a place just to get connected, which is good. It's like a community.
All right, so we're gonna try the food once it comes out. I'll let you guys know what it's like. I haven't had the food here or the coffee here in like at least 5 years or something like that. Yeah. All right, so we've got our food here. Zolti, what do we have here?
So we got a cream cheese and avocado bagel, and then we also have a serrano ham, rugula, cream cheese, and tomato bagel, and a sesame seed bagel.
Okay, and we're actually very lucky today because Elena is actually the owner of the bagel company. ¿Cómo se llama la empresa?
Varus Vegos.
Okay, cuéntanos de tu empresa.
Es una compañía que la formó Jason pensando precisamente en ustedes, como, oh, acá en Antioquia no hay algo para nosotros, algo representativo de Nueva York.
Okay.
Sé que es un bagel que es muy representativo de Nueva York y él dijo, ok, vamos a hacerlo, tú te le mides y yo. No tengo ni idea, pero vamos a hacerle. Y me siento muy orgullosa porque es un producto que no lo conocía, lo llegué ya a conocer y es un producto que a ellos les gusta mucho, a los extranjeros les gusta, porque cuando lo prueban dicen, oh, ¿qué es esta maravilla? De verdad parece de Nueva York, ¿sí o no?
Sí, es así.
Sí.
All right, so let's give this a try. Vamos a probarlo. Mira, este es tuyo, este es mío. You try that one.
Okay.
Let's do it together. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Oh man. Oh man.
¿Qué
That is
tal?
so good. I love it, man. I haven't had a bagel like this in a long time. This is so good. Oh my god.
De verdad, son muy deliciosos. No
Yeah.
porque los haga yo.
So she actually
Sí,
makes them
yo
herself.
Sí, yo soy la que los preparo, los organizo, todo.
I love these, man. So if you guys are in Laureles, make sure to check out Café Revolucion. Say what's up to Zolti. Order a bagel sandwich or one of these bagel with avocado on top of it, and have yourself a coffee, man. It's amazing. Thank you guys so much for being on.
Thank you very much.
You're an
I appreciate
amazing
it.
guest. Muchas gracias, Elena.
Gracias a ti.
We'll see you guys in the next video.